Today, my office worked with Dr. Hunter in obtaining a court order to exhume the bodies of the young men who have been buried at the Dozier School for Boys, some from 1900 all the way through 1950s, in an attempt to identify the remains and find out, if possible, the cause of death.
Why do you feel it's so important to pursue this action?
It's so important to these families. We know that atrocities occurred at the Dozier School of Boys back in the early 1900s, and many of these families need closure, and it's only fair to them that they are able to hopefully identify their loved ones and get their remains.
Will there be any attempt to pursue criminal charges based on what you find?
At this point, so many years later, the only thing that the statute of limitations would still be available on is first-degree murder. It would be almost impossible. The families realize that at this time, because most of the workers there have passed away since then, as well as the severe decomposition of the bodies. We don't even believe the bodies were properly embalmed, so it's going to be very, very difficult. That is not the intent. That is not the purpose. The purpose is there is a cloud of mystery surrounding what happened at that school, and these families need closure, and they deserve this.
Is this a result of that USF study that said there were probably more bodies there than had originally been found by FDLE?
Yes, I met with Dr. Kimberly, and I believe in her work, as does the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. She has helped, she's assisted, I was a prosecutor for many years, but she's assisted the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office in locating remains. So we believe in what she does, and we want to do everything we can to help these families. As well, I also ask Department of Environmental Protection to extend the stay for 150 days for selling the state land, to keep the land from being sold until Dr. Kimberly can get in there and do her work.
So what's the next step? The court has to rule on your petition, and then the exhuming bodies could begin?
We filed a petition, and we're waiting on the court to rule, and hopefully we'll obtain a court order where the medical examiner will be able to perform autopsies on these bodies with the help of Dr. Aaron Kimberly, who can come in and hopefully identify where many of these bodies are buried. We don't know how many young men were buried there. They were buried in shallow, unmarked graves. And so this is horrible, and it's important for these families to find out if their loved ones are there.
And is there any timeline for when we might actually see work at the Dozier School for Boys?
Well, hoping that the judge signs our court order, hopefully very soon, because rainy season is coming within the next few months. So I know Dr. Kimberly is very anxious to get up there and start her work.
And is that land, is there any type of deal in the works to buy that land, or is it just for sale at the moment, or what's its status?
Not right now, because it is state land, but right now we worked with the Department of Environmental Protection to keep the land from being sold for an additional 150 days to give Dr. Kimberly time to go in and exhume these bodies, because I don't think anyone wants to buy land where there are unmarked graves and bodies buried all over it anyway.